Alrighty. Alrighty, let's, oh, that's immediately gone wrong. Yeah. We're already off to a good start. The camera has fallen over. Surely that will not impact the coming performance of today's stream. I'm actually going to turn the music down a bit, it's kind of distracting. And distracting me. And we don't really want that, right? That's kind of a problem. There we go, that should be good. Alright, hey, howdy. Welcome in, welcome in. We're doing something I've wanted to do for a little while. Oh. Whoopsie doodle, hold on. I just forgot I'm not even on the screen, wow. I knew I was forgetting something, chat. I knew I was forgetting something, I was like... I have, like, everything prepped, right? Yeah. Yeah, I definitely have everything prepped. Do not have everything prepped. That is not what's going on. Oh, that's not meant to happen. Oh, that's weird. Where has that sound gone? Oh, they're getting it, but I'm not getting it. Is that my headphones? I think that's my headphones. That needs to be on, that needs to be on. What are you doing right now? Yeah. Yeah, dog, are we not... Okay, so you are connected to that, you're just... not working for some reason. Hold on, chat, I've lost all of my audio. I've lost all of my audio, and that may be a slight problem. Hold on. What if... Oh. That's very bizarre. I will have to investigate that further. Right, there we go. We're back. We're back. Jesus Christ. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so this is going to be this is going to be a I'm not going to be on screen for this one. For some reason that is messing with my audio settings, but let me just extract my hand. Yeah. Check it out, gang. We're doing something very cool. Now I gotta be real gentle with this, because my camera is oddly weighted, and this is like the perfect angle. It will just fall over. So we are working with some very odd physics today. But today we're going to be attempting to paint the crab. Now I say attempting, we have tried painting streams before, and historically, yeah, they've not gone so well. Citing technical issues. So hopefully this one goes a bit better. So let me grab stuff. Huh? You can see all of like my gear. Everything's falling down around me. Ah! God damn it. Get out of here. I'm hoping that I don't accidentally dox myself today. That's like my main concern. I'm sure I'll be fine. Oh, let me as well, just... Very audio output. Listing, cap. Okay. cool. Okay, everybody still has music. Excellent. Excellente. Yeah, so, sorry, I've had to do a little bit of altering things around myself as well. My setup is quite different for a painting stream compared to a normal stream. So, I've had to move things around and I'm still getting kind of used to it. But, chat room, let that not deter us. So I'm going to show you something as well. Where is he in focus? Here. Let me just move the crowd for a second. So this is the Panther. I painted the Panther a little while ago, but just to give us all an idea of everything falling over onto me again. Okay, tell you what, let's pull that up. Let's not pull that up, actually. That's like the least useful thing for me to have up. Pull up OBS so I can see what I'm doing. Put that on this monitor. That can sit there. That's... Oh, okay, well. Wait, what was I doing? Chat, what was I doing just now? Genuinely forgot what I'm doing. I mean, painting stream, duh. Oh, that's right. No, I did need camo up. For a very specific reason, though. Trying to figure out... Can we just do this? Give it a second. Okay, and it's focusing on everything except what I want it to focus on. Good work. Oh, I'm gonna have to do this shit manually. Unfortunately, I'm right-handed, and the mouse and the camera are all on the same side, so unless I'm doing like... Oh, that's actually not too bad. There we go. Alright. The Panther. But this is why I wanted the adaptive on, so I could just move it closer and that's not a problem. There we go. Right. Yeah, so this is the Panther. We're going for this blue and white kind of color scheme. I'm told fairly reliably that this is the Comstar color scheme, although most sources, this is the Comstar Parade color scheme. Most sources say, oh, well, the actual color scheme is camo suited to whatever environment they're in. But obviously I'm not going to be, repainting these guys every single time. So you kind of have to pick a color scheme and just live with it. The pattern's not actually fully done, but it's close enough. It's tabletop ready. So we're going to stick with that. And I am just going to grab some more paints, chat room, out of my big box of paints. If there are any questions about what paints I'm using, what I'm doing, please do ask. Where are you? No? Thunderbolt blue, beautiful. Of course, I'm starting with a base coat, which means... Yeah, there we go. Also, there's going to be a lot of me going like on the screen. So you can see what I'm doing. Just so it's not like a wall of silence, right? Alright, let's get the show on the road, huh? Let's do things. I've got a base. And that's a dry. Okay. Crap. Crap. Tell you what. Actually, hold on. Check. Camera. This is it. There we go. Little platform for him. So he's a bit easier for you all to see. They're actually like near the center of the screen now, which is a distinct improvement. I'm a professional. I'm very good at what I do. Alright, let's pop this bad boy open. So how are we doing, chat room? I hope we're all having a good day. Actually, you know what? You know what, chat? I shared this in another streamer's chat, right? Not like no consensually, you know, I just like fucking drop this out of nowhere. But I've not actually like said anything about it to the people I actually know. So I'll just say it in here. My weekend, right, was real fucking good. So some of you all may know that I am an aspiring game designer, right? One of the things I want to do with my life is make tabletop games for people. Whether that's card games, board games, role-playing games, whatever. And my day job, I work at an activity center where people come in and play with like Lego bricks and that kind of thing. And on the weekend, well, a couple of weeks ago, one of my bosses floated to me the idea of and I quote, Dungeons and Dragons-like game. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, you want an RPG? And he's like, yeah. I go, well, you know. And like, he hints that I should run something like that. I'm like, I mean, yeah, I can. That's fine. And he goes, cool. And then a little while later, he's like, oh, actually, well, it's not even that. I figure there's no way on God's green earth I'm running D&D. So here's the thing, right? And I am just going to adjust camera angle again real quick because I'm over here now. So here's the thing, right? Activity center, mostly we're guessing like kids, right? Generally speaking, there's, at least on the weekends, there's a lot going on. And like, there's maybe 2 members of staff in. Now it's manageable, but not this kind of situation where I can be like, oh, I'm going to step away and run D&D for some young kids, like proper D&D. Like, we don't have the time, we don't have the people, we don't have the resources. And quite frankly, chat room, I'm not sure I have the patience, right? Like, 7-year-olds, bad enough at the best of times. Whiny D&D players, bad enough at the best of times. Whiny 7-year-old D&D players? Yeah, that sounds like a recipe for disaster, dude. So I'm like, okay, well, there's no way I'm running actual D&D. Like, it's way too big an investment in time, in energy and effort for them. It costs the parents, like, £20 a head just for a single session. Never mind the fact that I'm not getting, like, the odds of getting repeat customers like that is slim. Like, we get repeat customers, but you're not going to get them, like, week by week to play D&D. I presume, anyway. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But I'm circling around the point here. The point is, I decided, well, screw it. I'm going to go and make a game. And I went and I made a game, which is not something new for me. I've made plenty of games in the past, I've made plenty of systems. Some better than others, I will say that. Some systems were not as complete as others. That's, that's part of being a creative person. It's part of the creative process. There's some things you finish, some things you don't. So I made this system. It's not really a system, it's more just a game. And we tested it. We tested it on the Sunday just gone. I was talking to my boss about it on Saturday. I was like, yeah, so I've made a thing. It's ready to go. And we got to testing it on Sunday. And it went real fucking well. The system itself worked fine. It worked great. The people who played it had a lot of fun. And afterwards, they all bought more stuff from our store than people usually would. They all grabbed something on the way out, which is not particularly common. People don't tend to do that. And the best part is that happened in front of my boss. So it made me look real fucking good. And also, I can now say that I've made a game system that was played by public for a company and was successful. The people enjoyed it and the system worked well. And you know what that is, everybody? That's right, that's professional credibility, baby. That is a step above just this being a hobby, right? Because now I can actually say, hey, I've done a thing that made money for a business in this field. Whereas before, all I could really say was, well, I've made stuff in my own time for myself and for my friends. And I've made stuff with intent to distribute for free. That's all that I could say up until Sunday. Which, is nice, but it's still very much in the realm of hobby. But the fact that I've done that for my job gives it, like, another level of professional credibility. So yeah, if Wizards or Mantic or Games Workshop want to hire me to make games, I'm your guy. Oh man. Yeah, like that'll ever happen. Well, Catalyst, I am currently painting some Battletech stuff. Yeah, if Catalyst wanna hire your boy. Alright, so we're just touching up some bits on the snoot here. You might notice as well, if you look close. That's what we're looking at so far. I'm being very careful to keep these gaps nice and not painted. You might notice as well, looking at the model for the crab, it doesn't actually look like the one from MechWarrior 5. It'll probably show up more clearly once I've actually painted the front. Yeah, we'll shelve this conversation until I've actually painted up the front properly. But there's a little bit of discrepancy that might be worth talking about. You may find it interesting. Or maybe I just find it interesting and the rest of you are forced to suffer what I find interesting. Need more. Now, if I have one weakness in painting chat room, it's that I don't thin my paints enough. I do thin them, don't get me wrong. I just don't do it a whole lot. Because I find it really easy to thin it out to a point where I no longer have proper control over the medium. And then it's just flowing into like gaps and stuff. I'm like, oh, well, I might as well be painting a fucking wash right now. Also, I am lazy. Which means I don't really like to go back and have to paint something again. Like, yes, multiple thin coats is the proper way to do it. I'm not saying my way is better. I'm saying I'm bad at painting. I'm saying don't be like me. Here's how people who are good at it say to do it. Do it like them. But me, I'm fucking lazy, so I'm doing it like this. My model will not look as good as a result. Yeah, that's definitely way too thick. I'm gonna keep going, baby. Probably doesn't help that I'm trying to do a little bit of detail work here with like exactly the wrong kind of brush. Yeah, they put the music back on, huh? How about that? How's that for an idea? Where's Twitch? There we go. I gotta keep an eye on your chat room. I know the kinds of people in my chat room, I know the kind of villains and vagabonds. Gotta be watched, gotta be carefully observed. To ensure you don't say anything too crazy in my chat room. It probably doesn't help as well that I'm painting the crab the same color as like the back wall. The more I paint of it, the less you can see it. Alright, there we go. That's good. Now I can start being even lazier than I was before. You may not think it possible, chat room, but I can always increase my laziness. My power level is far beyond yours when it comes to being lazy. I worked hard to get this. Oh no. How can I work hard to get lazy? It's paradoxical, you see. It's the thickest paint in the West, chat room. Not even entirely sure what the ratios of water to paint are. I think it's meant to be 2 drops of water to every drop of paint. I don't do anywhere near that much. Because again, I don't like it when the medium's too thin. I mean, there is an argument that I should just be using fucking crayons at this point, but obviously I'm not going to do that. They're too delicious, chat room, I just eat them. I like the ones that taste red. Wipe off some of the excess there. So I've got to get this very delicate position where I'm like in the camera line where you guys can see me. Well, where you can see what I'm painting, but you can't see me too much. God, there's still way too much paint on this brush. Also, I shrimp really badly when I'm painting. I do some big shrimping. Okay, so here's what I find weird about the soundtrack, right? This is music that plays when you're like just in the dropship, right? Like when you're shopping, when you're repairing mechs, all that kind of stuff. The weird part is, the soundtrack we're listening to right now is the Heroes of the Inner Sphere soundtrack. So, despite being a part of the core game, this music is actually on, is actually part of DLC. Don't ask me how that works, chat room, I don't know. Gonna do this core interiors. Also, it may surprise you, chat room, but my love for the crab has become a minor little meme outside of my own chat, outside of my own streams. At this point, when we raid Tora, most of the time she will be like, crab. Or she will ask how the crab has been, or something along those lines. I'm not complaining about this chat room, I find it very endearing. But I think it's something that you should be aware of. It's something that should be acknowledged, at the very least. They know about the crab, chat room. They know about the crab, and they are coming. Well, maybe they're not coming, but they are aware of the crab. Or maybe the fact of crab? The presence of crab? Oh god, these arm interiors are actual dog water, dude. Yeah, let's just pop another coat over here. It's fine, this can be a little bit sloppy, it's the base coat, we can clean it up later. That does seem to run counter to what you might consider normal if you weren't a painter. You might be like, oh, but sure you have to get like the first layer perfect and then the next layer perfect, the next one after that. It's like, well, not really. You can use the next, you can always go back and clean up after yourself. You can use the next coat to catch anything that you missed if you really, really have to. But 9 times out of 10 you will just be like, oh, I missed that. And then go back to the previous colour for a hot second. Like, it's not... I guess if you're making like a masterpiece, it's a lot more intense, but for our purposes, by and large, this really isn't an exercise in precision. It's just being more precise will make the job easier as you go. Unfortunately for me, I am dyspraxic, so precision is a matter of opinion when it comes to my body, not so much one of choice. And you see, my body and I, we have differing opinions on terms of precision. See, I would quite like to be precise. I would like that to be one of my strengths. My body, however, has decided that is not the way that we're going to run things. And who am I to argue with my own fucking... muscular system? Although, having said that, I think that's one of those things that everybody feels. I think on some level, everybody would like to be more precise, more agile, more accurate. Like, some people might kind of sneer and go, oh, Star Wars, that's for... you know, that's for children. But at the end of the day, if you were to offer pretty much anybody on the street the chance to be a Jedi, most people would take you up on it. Most people would go, oh, the Force, the magical space powers? Yeah, I want some of that shit. Everyone would like to be more of everything. Everyone would like to be more agile, would like to be faster, would like to be funnier, would like to be smarter. It's not really how it works. And you just have to do the best with what you've got. And with what you're willing to learn. And in the places where you can't learn, like me, just kind of have to grin and bear it. Which maybe isn't the answer that you want to hear. But it's the only answer that's really out there and really true. Now you may be wondering, Callan, where are you going with this? I don't know, chat room, I am just rambling. I am just saying words and making noises. Because that is my job. To make words and say noises. Let me show you where we're at. It goes about here. Grab. 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 Yeah, so this is quite chonky and not particularly delicate. Again, we can work on that as we go. Right now, we are just putting down the base coat. What that means for you non-painters is that we don't paint our last color directly onto black. Well, you can with some paints. The darker the paint, the more you can just do that shit. We're going to white. You do not paint white straight onto black. You want to tone it up, right? So you go from black onto something that is lighter, but still quite thick and quite heavy. And the reason is, if we look at the Panther again, you see how the white on that is nice and smooth? If I painted that straight onto black, it would look incredibly streaky. I would have to go with even thicker layers to cover the black. Which is why, you look at the crab here, you see how those two whites aren't the same. This is like a darker, warmer white, it's like a creamier kind of colour. Whereas this is a very cold, I'm going to say flat. I don't think flat's the word I'm looking for. But this is a very cold white. Very solid kind of colour. It's because it has a layer of this underneath it, this creamier, warmer white, between this and the black. And that stops like any sort of streakiness showing up. I've got... don't know if it'll show up particularly well, but on the champion here, you see that just above the knee on this leg? Just here? Yeah, like that splotch, that's what happens if you don't put a proper layer on. Yeah, the champion is what we started doing last stream, and it needs some more love. It does need finishing. We will finish it on stream one day. Yeah, let's get the Panther out of the way. Yeah, let's tidy up this right claw. It's not right, it's left. Tonight on Radio Free Callan, Callan learns his right from his left. His light from his left. I do really like this soundtrack though. It just hits right. I don't know what to... I don't know how else to put it. It hits good, dude. Do you guys just, like... Tell you what. It's dead. I can't believe it. Okay, we're back. We're so back. I nudged the table is what happened there. What if I just paint over here, huh? What if I just paint closer to the thing? Crazy idea. Wild. That's definitely way too much. Oh, this is weird for me as well. It's weird painting models that I'm not familiar with again. So for ages, the only miniatures that I was painting were Warhammer 40k figures, right? Which was fine because you get a squad of like 10 dudes, right? And ultimately, they'd all be pretty much the same. Like, yeah, they might have slightly different weapons or what have you, but overall, the general figure of them would be the same across the whole model. You know, one Space Marine would look like another Space Marine. One tank would look like another tank. Once you've painted one, you've kind of painted them all. That ain't true with the Battletech. Painting a crab is very different to painting a panther. Because you're looking at it and you're like learning what's an armor plate, what's just like exposed metal, what's an actual like what's a weapon lens, right? Like you can kind of point of reference the panther. Like I can like point at like the PPC and be like, oh well, yeah, that's a PPC. It's like that doesn't super help. Like it lets you figure out that oh, this is probably still sticky out bit here on the snoot. Yeah, that's probably like a weapon. I'm pretty sure that's the M laser. And we know it's got lasers in the claws. But how's that help me with like this leg, right? How do I figure that out? The only way I can do so is by painting it. So we may have to go back and do some corrections. It's fine, chat, we'll do what we have to. God, this OST really does just have the bangers on it. Big Crab Pete's. Yeah, there are probably like BattleTech players out there who just like watching me would watch me do this and just be like, "What are you doing?" No, don't do it. Like, oh, fucking idiot. All right. Let's get those. Come on, give me something. Raised edges. I mean, in all honesty, I'm probably being a bit too gentle with it here. Like, this is the base coat. We can kind of just go a little bit ham. And just sort of throw things around and see what sticks. Ah. Hold on. Let's see if I can show you guys. That's what I wanted to avoid. You see that on the back leg? Yeah, it's way too thin. Some people would be like, oh, that's perfect thickness. What are you talking about? I'm like, no. No, not for me, buddy. God damn it. Yeah, back up we go. Yeah, there's a Callan up there. He doesn't want to be on camera though, thank you. No more than my damn hands have to be. Oh yeah, those of you watching the VODs may not be aware as well, but we do in fact have a Discord. Not a whole lot goes on in there, it's more or less just a place for me to say when I'm going live. But we do have one, should you wish to check it out. The link is probably in the description somewhere. Although I feel like people who are watching the VODs are probably already on the Discord. That wouldn't surprise me. Oh god. Must paint the vulnerable underbelly. Somehow painting the back of the legs is slightly easier than painting the front. I don't know why. You may be thinking it's because the back of the legs are going to be less visible. I don't consider any parts of any model I paint to be less visible than the others. Unless it's literally inside. If it's literally inside, that's a different matter. I'm going to take a quick drink real quick. Chat, you should also take a drink. I'm now literally starting to think every single good track in MechWarrior 5, except for exactly one, is on this DLC. Genuinely, I'm just like, this one's also a banger. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. The devs were literally like, yeah, okay, so we'll put all the okay tracks on the main game. We'll put this one good one on the Kestrel Lancers. The rest of these are going on Heroes of the Inner Sphere. But what about Rise of Rasselhag or the Draconis Combine one? What about them? The weird thing is, a lot of these tracks I distinctly remember hearing before I even had the Heroes of the Inner Sphere DLC. So I think they're just in the game anyway at this point, whether you have the DLC or not. Sorry, my big stupid meat hands are getting in the way, preventing you from seeing what I'm doing. Alright, well, I think I have good news for us, chat room. I think we're done with exactly this part of the painting process. Oh, no. I'm telling barefaced lies again. We're nearly done with it. Also, chat, there is a chance that we don't finish the crab today. And we'll have to finish it on another stream. Sorry chat, I know this is completely off screen for you. Just gonna have to use your imaginations for a second. Everyone just pretend like you can see the crab and like I'm doing a real good job. Just not do the top of his leg. I actually just didn't do the top of his leg like a fool. There we go. Alright, I think that's stage 1 done. While we have that extra bit of paint, I'm going to take a moment just to touch up some bits. The inside of this claw definitely needs more love. Yeah, we'll try and get this as well. Let's touch up the rear. So improve the rear, improve the rear. That's... Well, thank God nobody clips these, otherwise that would have been real fucking embarrassing, huh? Somebody will scramble at the controls, like, how do I clip? How do I clip? Yeah, that's good. The rest of that's going to want a different colour. Alright, thanks. I'll just show you all real quick what we've got for the crab so far. Yeah, so it's not much right now. It is just the base coat. But you know, we start off small. We work our way up. Okay. Take a second to just stretch. And close some windows, actually. Let me close some windows. Hey chat, there could be people out there who are watching through my window, watch this stream for free. And that's just not okay. No freeloaders, no moochers on this channel. I'm of course joking. I shouldn't need to point that out. And yet I will. I'm gonna miss with the focus just a little bit again. See, I want to focus about here. A bit more. That's probably too far. Oh, I know what happened. The fucking camera fell over, didn't it? If I do this... Count chat. The crowd is advancing directly towards the camera. Did I just say the chat is advancing directly towards the camera? Maybe I said the crab. I don't know. They're two very similar words. I'm losing my mind. Alright. So next up, we're going to do the metal. Mechanicus Grey. That's... Ooh. I don't think that's a colour that exists anymore. Mithril Silver. Mithril Storm Host. Storm Host. Where is it? Where's not Botgun Metal? There we go. Iron Warriors. There used to be a paint called Boltgun Metal back in the day. Back when I was a wee nipper. Paint called Boltgun Metal. And it was fantastic. It was this metallic silver paint. And it would do anything you needed it to do. It was fantastic. It doesn't really exist anymore. They replaced it with a new colour. Which is this. It is called Iron Warriors. And it purports to be the replacement for Botgun Metal, but for me it's never quite done it. It's a lot better than the other alternative, which is Stormhost Silver. That really didn't do it for me. That was a weak paint in my opinion. Like, Iron Warriors isn't bad, per se. It just doesn't quite do as good a job as Boltgun Metal did. Boltgun Metal was slightly lighter, but not so much lighter, unlike, it was somewhere between Iron Warriors and Stormhost Silver. Which means that, it was light enough to do a wide variety of jobs without being too thin or too bright. And what we have now tends to land on, like, either side of that, so it's a bit... It just doesn't do it for me. Not in quite the same way. But oh well. Yeah, like, this is so dark, chat, that I can't even tell if there's anything on my brush. Oh. Let's have a look at my brushes. I don't really have anything that hits a middle ground here. That's, I guess, layer. Yes, this will have to do. Oh, where's that Stormhost Silver anyway? There it is. Oh, where's our music gone? Ah, I see, we ran out of music. It's fine. We will put on new music. I don't know how we've been streaming for an hour and a half, chat room. It doesn't feel like it's been that long. Ooh, okay. This is what we in the business call turbo fucked. Chat, I'm gonna shoot my camera. Don't worry. You're not dead. Not yet. I have too much to subject you to first, chat room. Getting awfully close to having my face in frame, chat room. I keep saying things like this, like I'm tempting fate and like I'm going to do some sort of big reveal at the end. I'm not. I have no intention of... As far as you're concerned, this isn't even me. This is a body double. Or like, this is a paid actor. I've paid someone... Yeah, I've paid someone to appear to be painting on my stream. All of this is rehearsed. Every single bit of it is staged. I gotta shake my dropper bottle. See, this is what happens when you don't paint for a while. All of your stuff just gets horribly messed up. None of my metals are nice anymore. Sad times. Yeah, unfortunately I don't have any bolt gun metal anymore, otherwise I would just immediately default to that. God, the consistency of this is actually non-existent. Excuse me, sir, would you like some paint on your battle mech? Yesn't. I'm sorry, what does that mean? Yesn't. No, I don't. I said yesn't. How much clearer can I be? Honestly, chat room, I'm painting this, and my primary thought is just, hopefully I'll be able to put a wash of like bad black on this, and it will just fix all of my problems. That is my great gamble today. Is that a single black wash will just fix everything. And to be fair, that's not entirely unprecedented. It's happened before, and it will happen again. But yeah, goddamn, I need new brushes, man. I need new brushes because these, none of these really hold a point anymore. Because they are ancient. Most of these are like near enough a decade old, if not older. They have seen much service. They have served me well through the years, but unfortunately, time does march on. This is real atmospheric music as well. I won't lie to you, chat room, I just completely zoned out there. I was lost in the sauce. I was fucking gone, dude. This bit is probably actually armored, but... My one complaint with this colour scheme, aside from it being white and white being generally quite difficult to do, but my one complaint with this colour scheme is that it is monocolour. I tend to find you really want a second colour in there as a spot colour. Sorry, chat. Anything that you can't see me doing, I will show you when we're done. It's okay. I'm a streamer. I'm an influencer. Do you really think I'd ever pass up an opportunity to show up? To show up? To show off? I'm passing up opportunities to show up all the time, dude. Beautiful. I think we're almost done with the metallics then. I will say, chat, this is going much better than the previous painting stream. We got 45 minutes into that one and it fucking died. I'm not entirely sure what happened with it. Even now I'm like, I don't really know what happened, dude. But we seem to be doing okay this time. I don't know what that is. It might just be a pick detail for later. Clean this off. It's time for El Blanco. Oh, we can get this out here. So the base coat, for anybody curious, base coat Rakoth flesh. Yeah, I know, it seems weird to use a color called flesh as the base coat for a battle mech, but this kind of super pale pallid white tone is actually very good for us because it's, again, it is a warm white, but it's quite a muted one as well, so it doesn't have much chance of going streaky on us. Unlike this white has a massive chance of going streaky on us. Yeah, this isn't going to take much to thin out. In fact, that's probably already thin enough. It's like milk. Huh? You'll remember that skit? Huh? From like 2009? Malk? Wonder whatever happened to that guy. I think he's still making YouTube videos, funnily enough. Alright, this is fucking unusable. Not to worry. We'll simply apply more paint to the problem. A drop or two. There we go, that's more usable. Not massively so, it's still like I'm painting with milk. Yeah, hold on. You can see it just barely at the tip of this shoulder blade here. It just does not want to pull nicely. Put a dab of it on here. Alright, I don't know what's going on with that paint. It's super fucking thin. And I don't know why. I don't know why, because I've left it alone for like months. Let me see if I've got any other whites. It's not the end of the world if I don't, I just have to leave that white out for a while. That is Valhalla and Blizzard. That's not going to help. Going to help me at all. Oh, there we go. White Scar. I'm doing a really good drum solo. Chat. I don't know how to play drums. You hit the thing and it goes boom. Yeah, maybe I do know how to play drums then. Rip in peace to the one actual drum player in the chat. Where's my brush gone? Oh, Callum doesn't know what he's talking about. It's not just randomly hitting things. It takes a great deal of skill and profession. Hey, buddy, listen. You're just making the jokes, okay? Just having the funny ha-has. It's okay, if anything, I've proven that I don't know how to paint and I don't know how to stream, and yet I'm still doing both, so... You will suck, chat room, at everything that you do. At some point, sooner or later, you will suck. You'll eat shit. It happens. And that's fine. But what you have to do is you then have to pick yourself up and go, okay, so what didn't work about that? Why did I eat shit there? And you look at it and go, okay, well, this is why I sucked there. Here's what I can do better next time. And then you go and you do it. And you do it better next time. And that's it. That's how you get good at things. Like, I still suck at painting, even though I've been doing it for years. And partially, it's due to physical limitations beyond my control. But also partially, it's because I'm impatient, and I'm lazy. So I will take the shortcut to doing the thing when it comes to painting. I would take the method that gets me done the fastest, not necessarily the one that gets me done the best. I should not be using this brush. This brush is actually knackered. So this is my, what is this? Layer. This is a layer brush, apparently. I've been using it as like a detail brush. But you see the point? You can't see it particularly well, but it doesn't want to hold a point. Like, the second it touches the model, it's just going, whack. Yeah, it's just going, whack. Just whack. So, oh, what else do we have? Ah, yes, the beginner brush. I unironically still use the beginner brush. It's actually not a bad brush. It gets maligned for being the beginner brush. But I actually quite like it for this level of work. I don't know, for me this brush has held up really well. Like, it was one of the first brushes that I got and it's still going strong. Oh yeah, that's a really good example of being streaky. That's exactly what I was talking about. I'll show you guys in a second. Because I know I'm working real close to myself right now. That's beautiful. 2 back to back. Yeah, so, it's into focus range. Can't really see it at focus range. Stand by, chat room. Stand by. Stand by. Yeah, there you go. You can see on that right side there how it looks kind of splotchy. That's why we don't go straight onto black. Because if that was straight onto black, the black would show through. Yeah. This is something that can be remedied with the second coat of white. This is not a problem. If it was on black, it would be a much harder fix. But it's not. It's on this lighter Rakath flesh. Yeah, there we go. It's not perfect, but it's a bit better. And again, it's because I'm being impatient and not just waiting for things to dry properly. It's also a little bit because this white sucks. But this is why they don't recommend you paint with white unless you really know what you're doing. Like, you can use a little bit of white here and there, but as like the main color that you're using, not super recommended. Yeah, I consider myself as much an exercise in what not to do as anything else. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. That's looking better. It's come out way nicer now. Which probably means it's too thick, but oh well. I sort of don't particularly care at this point. what I'm going to do for the inside of the claws. We will burn that bridge when we get to it. Yeah, there we go. It's looking better, that claw. Claw's looking good. We'll do something with those brown bits on the inside. We're not going to leave that. That doesn't look great. The rest of it looks fine, though. I'm really liking the rest of that claw. See, doing this white is a challenge for me in a different way as well, because what's the word I'm looking for here? Not traditionally. I'm used to painting kind of more rough and tumble sort of vehicles, right? Like less pristine looking things. It's why I'm hesitant to drop to drop a heavy wash on this, because I want the white to be as bright and as clean as possible. And putting any sort of wash on risks ruining that. But it does make it significantly harder. It means I have to be a lot more precise with my brushwork. Because I just don't have as much of a safety net. Like, I can still use a wash, and I probably will. I just have to be a lot more careful with how I apply it. Like, I've heard my models described as like, as having like a grungy punk sort of look. So this kind of very clean, very sharp coloring is a new experience for me. Yeah, this kind of slaps as well, I'll be honest. It's a good soundtrack. Yeah, both the soundtracks so far this evening have been semi-blind picks. Ah, I grabbed that from the wrong white. Oh well, it should be okay. Well, it's only a 50-ton mech, you know. Intense focus. As we paint the crab. Yeah, I know that I've not said a whole lot about the crab this stream. I figured you all are probably bored of hearing about the crab, because I talk about it every single time I pilot it in MechWarrior. But it's a 50-ton mech who's really... Nah, the crab's a good mech. It's kind of hard to say if it's better than other mechs in the same category, right? Because it's built for a different job to most of them. Like, even for example, the Centurion and the Hunchback, which are somewhat similar, I would still say they're built for two different roles. The Hunchback is a close-range brawler, whereas the Centurion's more of a jack-of-all-trades. It can do the close-range brawlering, but it doesn't do it as well as the Hunchback. But the Hunchback is designed to be doing the close-range brawler stuff. The Centurion can be refitted into a long-range support mech. It can be... it can play a harassment role. It can play a long-range artillery role. None of them as well as dedicated units for those jobs. It doesn't do skirmishing as well as the crab does, for example. But it does them all, like... It'll do a good enough job at any of them. But the crab is like... It's weird because it's built for this skirmisher role, right? Where it's meant to... So the idea behind the crab is that it's an autonomous harasser, which means it doesn't need to be part of a lance, it doesn't need to be part of a battle group. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. It can go off on its own, it can go shoot at... The idea is that it goes behind enemy lines, it like... Or, in essence, it operates in such a way that it doesn't need to be near your lines. Right? You can send it off for however long it needs to be away for, and it can take care of itself. That's why it's only armed with lasers and not with any sort of like autocannons or anything. Because if it had autocannons or missiles, then it could run out of ammo for them. And it would have to come back. And that's not what you want your crab to be doing. You do want it occasionally coming back, but no more than it strictly needs to. which is more than it would be able to carry ammunition for those kinds of weapons. So it carries lasers, because they don't need reloading. They just need proper heat management. And if you can't manage your heat, well, odds are that's not going to mean you go back to the base with the crab. It means you're not going back to base, period. Well, you are going back to base eventually, but you're going back to base in a pinewood box. No, the crab is meant to do this thing where you tell the crab, okay, they're over here. And the crab goes, or the crab pilot, rather, goes, excellent, I'll be back in, like, 2 to 3 months. And they fuck off and go and harass the enemy wherever they are, whether that's in some sort of column or in a base or wherever they're at. The crab will go, find them, hit them, and then disappear. That's why it's got about average armor. So it can take the odd hit here and there without just falling to pieces. But it's also comparatively fast. It is 81 kilometers per hour at top speed. That is faster than most other mechs in its size category. I think only in a similar size category, the Champion and the Quick Draw, which are both 60-ton mechs, both also hit 81 kilometers per hour. The Quick Draw, I believe, is... It's a skirmisher, but it's a light skirmisher. Which sounds weird, what with it being a heavier mech than the crab, but the idea behind the Quick Draw, I believe, is that it's a missile boat. It's a missile carrier. So the fast speed isn't to do with it evading enemies so much as closing in quickly. It can't do what the crab does because it's all missiles, and it fires a lot of them at once. Or to put it another way, the crab's high speed is made to make it evasive. It's to allow it to escape more than anything. The Quick Draw's high speed is to get in close quickly. It's more a striker than it is compared to the crab being a harassment and sort of insurgent mech, really. As well as just a handsome little dude. Look at this guy. Ah. He's coming along. Getting there. What was the other mech that I was talking about? Oh yeah, the Champion. Yeah, so the Champion's weird. Again, it's another mech that we've used quite a fair bit in the MechWarrior playthrough. It's a mech that I quite like. What to say about the Champion? Yeah, it was meant to be, it was meant to be a fucking aerospace fighter as well. Yeah, it was meant to transform into like a fucking jet and fly around. Once I've finished the bit that I'm painting, chat room, I will show you. Because we have a model, which means we have a prop. Which means I can pretend to be Professor Tex for a second and give you all a lecture about the fucking champion. But yeah, I'll finish talking about the crab first. The crab... Yeah, it's kind of hard to compare because there aren't really many other mechs in its size category that do what it does. It's better compared to light mechs like the Jenna or the Javelin, which are, again, designed to be fast and evasive. Realistically want to be shooting from behind the opponent rather than the front. But then again, honestly speaking, that applies to every single mech in the game, just about. Would rather be shooting the enemy from behind than in front is very much a universal truth. Well, unless they're Buster Scruggs, in which case, you're as fucked either way. What are we thinking, chat? Let's get him in focus for you. Oh no, the back don't look too pretty right now. I reckon the top, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. The underneath is going to need a coat of, It's going to need some touching up. It's fine, we'll get some black and go into the cracks. At some point. It probably won't be today, chat room. This is going to be a multiple stream event. At some point we need to finish up the champion as well. We have other mechs to paint as well. I have a few Lancers worth. See, I mentioned Buster Scruggs, and now I'm like thinking about that fucking movie, dude. Just trying to make sure I'm still in the fucking shop. Because I know it's real easy for me to like lean back and just suddenly not have the crab in frame. Oh, here's a fun fact a friend told me. Apparently there's a MechWarrior game on the SNES, right? Now that in itself isn't like so surprising. You're probably like, oh well, you know, it was probably just like a sim with tabletop game or something, right? Like an RTS. Or maybe it's like some sort of third person affair. You know, similar to Starwing. Right? But with mechs instead. No, my friends. It's a sim. They put an honest to God sim on the fucking SNES, and I've yet to play it. But apparently you can very much see where they were trying to do some things that they ended up doing later on. Like, you can see the foundations of those taking shape. I've been promised that I'll be able to play it at some point. I don't know when, but I will report back to you, chat room, and I will let you know if it's actually good. Just the idea that they put a fucking sim for MechWarrior on the goddamn SNES. You know, a system that has all of 8 buttons on the controller, including start and select. Oh no, man, I think that's... It's dumb, but it's also really cool. Yep, let's get that line. Get down there. Beautiful. One other thing, for anyone who's like, whoever finds themselves struggling with painting, particularly anyone who ends up in the kind of the funk of, oh, I'm not going to do it well enough. Just remember that a badly painted anything on the tabletop is going to look far better than an unpainted thing on the tabletop. And even if it is like really badly done, it's still going to look better than that grey plastic. Or just the blob of black of a base coated mini. Like, If I pop the crab down for a second, and then grab our next project. Which looks better? Oh, sure, the Stalker looks more consistent. Crab looks better. Crab looks miles better. Just get it started, chat. Just get it started. Because if you don't get it started, it'll always look like garbage. And you know, if one day in the future, you're looking back, you're like, wow, I really hate how I painted that. You know what you can do? You can pick up your paints and apply whatever else you've learned and try again. There never has to be a situation where you're done, right? There is never a situation where, in painting a model, if you decide, oh no, I want to do this instead, like, the paint Gestapo is gonna kick in your door, like, put a gun to your head and go, you've already painted that model, sir. We can't let you repaint it now. Like, no, of course not. You can always start over, you can always try again. And if it's really bad, right? Like, oh god, I wish I could just dunk this model in bleach, wipe off all the paint and start over. That's what Dettol is for, my friend. I had a guy, when I was, again, a wee nipper, was like when I was a young Callan. And this is going to out me. This is going to out me to some people. A very specific set of people, but it could out me. But that's the same with any personal anecdote, so here we fucking go. When I was younger, right, I was playing 40k. A friend of mine decided he had one of the old Lehman Russ demolishers, which was, back then, a part plastic, part metal kit. I very much like the old demolisher. I prefer the newer one, but I very much like the old one. I didn't have one at the time. He was selling his. He tried to paint it white. He should not have been trying to paint it white. So I bought it off him, for much less than a new one would have cost, but again, you know, you're buying it off of a friend secondhand, it should cost less. And somehow, chat room, I do not know how, but somehow, the absolute genius of this boy, he had managed to paint part of it pink. Now, this wasn't a... Hold on. Let me get a rust so I can show you. Which is best to use? This one. There we go. Grabbed one of my command rusters. So, it's all I'm used to painting. Just much bigger models. But, so you might be thinking, oh, well, maybe he painted, like, a bit of pink like this purple here, or like maybe on the front or something. No, no, no. Oh, the snoot droops. The snoot does droop. The snoot is meant to droop. Yeah, I've built my rusters in such a way that you can switch out the turrets. It's very nice. Haha, take that, Games Workshop. Not getting any free money from me. Mostly because I'm poor. No, he managed to paint this corner down here, where this little vent is. He managed to paint that pink. Just that corner. And we asked him why after I brought it up, and I was like, yeah, so why is part of this pink? And he went, oh, well, I tried to mix Devlin mud on it. I tried to put this wash of brown on it. So I had to put the rust back. He goes, yeah, I tried to mix this brown on it, and it came out pink. I'm like, no, you didn't. You're like, yeah, no, like, how does brown plus white equal pink? It just does, apparently. Well, whether that's true or not, I cannot say. I was not in his painting room at the time. I think he wanted a pretty pink tank and then thought better of it, but that is just my opinion. Regardless. I was now left with this tank that was partially pink. You know, mostly white. Not a very good white, a very thin, milky white. And I had to, I couldn't abide by it. I wanted it to be that same blue as the one that I just showed you, so I got a tin. I got one of the old Yu-Gi-Oh card tins. Filled that bad boy with Dettol, dunked the tank in, left it for a day, came back the next day with an old toothbrush. Scrub, scrub, scrub. I think we got it down to the primer. We got down to the black primer. We couldn't get it entirely clean, but down to the black primer was fine. Yeah, it was an eventful it was an eventful purchase, I'll say that much. Let's see if I can salvage any of the white that I used earlier and use that to thin down rather than water. Yeah, so there's maybe 6 people who would be able to figure out who I am exactly, based off of that story. And I don't think any of those 6 people are going to be watching this stream. Or the VOD, so I'm pretty sure I'm good. And, if they are, I just want to say, with the exception of Ben and Jamie and the other Ben, you're all scrubs, and I can't believe I ever lost to any of you. That's a joke, it's obviously a joke. As if I'd ever lose to those clowns. I said there were exceptions. Nah, what's a little bit of casual Trash talk between old friends, huh? Oh, I forgot Joe. I forgot Joe. He was good. He was cool. Okay. You probably did hear that chat. I'm not sure what that was all about, but yeah, it's a problem for future me. So, yeah, some of my old group messaging me be like, fucking heard you talking shit on stream. Alright, I'm gonna shut up and focus for the next 5 minutes, so I can get this done. We're still a few steps away from being finished, but I want to put this in a good place for me to stop for this evening. So I got places to go, I got things to do. Yeah, I'm afraid the streaming is ancillary to the rest of my life. I like the streaming. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy streaming. But it does very much stress me out. Like making sure I have everything organized for it, and then... especially if it's like something that I have to do. Like, I just didn't stream on Monday because I didn't feel like streaming. And it felt so fucking good to just not have to do it. Whereas if I'd set a schedule and been like, okay, every Monday is this, every Wednesday is this, like, I would have felt really guilty and really bad about not streaming. But I didn't. I don't have a set schedule, so I just didn't stream on Monday, and it felt really nice. I think the difference is, compared to like professional streamers, I think if I got to affiliate, if I got to the place where people could subscribe, and people were subscribed, then I would be like, okay, now I have to do this to a schedule. And I honestly don't know how I feel about that. I think part of me would almost want to say to people, hey, look, don't subscribe. Because... I don't know what's going on with the music there, gang. Or maybe that's just my headphones. Yeah, part of me would be like... maybe I don't want people to subscribe because then... I feel less like I have to stream, especially to a schedule. Don't know. Alright, 2 little tiny bits to clean up and then we're done. Make that 3. I don't mean we're done with the entire crab, I mean we're done for this evening. Where's the other little bit? Oh, there it is. Tippy tappy, the clippy clappy claws. Alright, so we need to just touch up the bit around the head. Yeah, we're just getting underneath the main chassis now. Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about as well with the crab. So, earlier I mentioned that the crab is not quite the same as the one you see in MechWarrior 5. That's because some of the minis that you can find are actually based on the models from MechWarrior Online, just slightly different to the ones in Mercenaries. The crab is one that stands out in that regard. So you can see the cockpit in MW5 is up here, like looking out over this it's like up here, looking out over like this bit. This laser here is actually mounted further back up where this assembly here is. This little metal dish thing. On this one, the cockpit is actually in the center of the torso. So yeah, it's cool. Little minor differences that don't really mean a whole lot. Alright, we're mostly done here. There's a couple more bits that I want to do before we depart. It might take us up to 8:30. First, I want to... Actually, this is something that I didn't get around to on the Panther as well. So I'll need to do that in a second. Little tiny bits. We may have to revisit that with some silver. I feel like I'm missing... Is that just because of the laser? No, there is one over there. It's real hard to see. There we go. Yeah, this is why I need a detail brush. The second part of this is... Oh, and this is gonna take some thinking. God, what was the paint used for that? Is it Waystone? Oh, tell me this isn't, like, fused into a solid lump. Ah, no, wonderful. This is a technical paint, which means it does something very specific, so I'm not going to water it down. So that might mess with it. We don't want that. Or maybe I should be introducing some water to this, actually. Let's just apply this to the Panther as well. I am going to scream. This paint is going absolutely everywhere except where I want it to go. fuck? Is this some sort of, like, curse or something? It's just not... I put the paintbrush with the paint on over the part that I want to paint. And the paint does not come off the brush. I do not understand. Alright, well... What about you, crab? Well, at least the crab's cooperating. God, that was meant to be the quick part as well. Do we do the other bit? Yeah, we do the other bit. I need a red base coat. I don't really have a red base coat. How mine it is. Alright, so this does not need to be pretty at all. We're just going to... put some red. This here base. Yeah, that's good. There we go. So, that's a start for the base. We've done our, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to say base and refer to do two different things. Oh, yeah, before we do, actually, let's clean up that. It's my best bet for cleaning up. What was I using? What was the silver I was using? It wasn't Iron Warriors. Oh, the other one wasn't. It was this one. Was it? No, we were using the Vallejo, weren't we? Yeah. Oh, that's good. We need a very viscous thing. I'm gonna do the most evil thing in the world and not thin it. I know, it's sacrilege. Quite frankly, what I'm doing right now might be considered a war crime. It certainly goes against the Ares conventions. Yeah, there we go. There we go. It's kind of hard to see. But I've picked out around the eye now. Might have to do the weapon housings in a different color, maybe like a brass kind of color. Because right now it all kind of blends together into just this big silver mass. But let me dance a little bit. Let me wiggle. Let me improve the focus. And let me put the crab in the frame. It's coming along. It's getting there. So what we've done today, we've done the undercoat. We've done the white. That is pretty much entirely there, or at least the first coat of it. We've done the silver metallics. We've picked all of those out. Got that on the legs as well at the back. Around the gyro in the middle. It's like the waist. Got the details on top all nice and picked out. And we've got the undercoat for the base done. So next time, we'll be putting the finishing touches on this bad boy, on this crab boy. He's only looking a lot better than he was this morning. Look at him. I'm quite happy with him so far. We do need to do his little toesies. We need to do the lasers. The whole thing does need a wash. At least the recesses. So all like the gaps or the spaces between the white. I'm going to want to put some black in there. Especially underneath. You can see where I've picked out the panels in white. But between them, I just kind of threw paint on there. Which, don't be like me. Don't do that. It will make your job harder in the future. But yeah, I'm going to move some stuff out of my way, and then I will find someone to raid. And by that, I mean, I already know exactly who we're going to raid. But I'll pretend like it's a mystery. To keep you in suspense, chat room. Oh. So, before we close out, so this is Waystone Green. This is what I was using. And this is the paint I was like, it's not going in the right spots. What Waystone Green does is it goes very nicely over specifically gold. And when it's done well, it gives a nice glassy lens effect without having to like screw around with all sorts of different like different mediums and having to do like 7 thin layers working through colors. I knew someone once who painted a beach, and to do the ocean, it looked incredible. It looked really, really good. But to do the ocean, they did 7 distinct layers of blue and like wet blended them all into each other. And it was this very long, very difficult process. And I remember looking at it and being like, wow, that's really nice. How long did it take you? And they're like, it took me like a week. And you're like, no. Nah, dog, we ain't doing that. So, yeah. Alright. I need to move the crab. He is in the way here. I'd like to leave him on display for you all to look at and be amazed by. It is not done. We will be finishing the crab in another stream. But for now. Alright, stuff is mostly out the way. Let's get this out the way. Get my newspaper out the way. Oh, and let's there we go. Oh, that's interesting. That looks even worse somehow. Okay. Uh, actually, let's just throw ourselves into the end stream. All right, so we will be finishing the crab. We'll be doing that in another stream. When, where, how? Who's to say? Hard to know. Hard to leg. But we will be finishing up at some point relatively soon. I don't like to leave these things waiting. I know I'm constantly threatening a Sunday stream. It might be Sunday. If not, then probably next Wednesday. Pictures will be up in the Discord once it is finished. That's it from me for today. Thank you all so much for watching. We are gonna raid. We're gonna raid. Oh yeah, there we go. We'll raid Tora. She is playing Persona 3. It is, I believe, her first time. So be nice, be gentle. If you have played Persona 3, please do not spoil it. Don't be that guy. I don't want to be going over to stream and having my people being like, oh, this is what happens next in the game. Like, don't do that. But I know we're better than that. I know we're cooler than that. Anyway, we'll go and raid across. Thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Until then, stay safe and be kind to yourself. Because you probably deserve it. Alright. Peace.